Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Jurassic World Dominion, released in 2022. Dominion is the third Jurassic World movie and the sixth in the franchise overall. It follows the aftermath of Fallen Kingdom, the stupid movie that I actually ended up kind of liking, even though, again, very stupid movie. That one ended with dinosaurs loose amongst the general population. Exactly what the fuck I want to see. I even like the San Diego stuff and the Lost World, even though it was, again, very stupid. There is some fulfillment of that setup in Dominion. We see dino black markets, shady dino research, and dinosaurs and animals together. Like non-dinosaur animals. And they look amazing, both the digital versions and all the animatronics. There are more dino species than ever here. 35 by one count, 6 of them all new designs. Unfortunately, the dinosaurs end up tertiary in their own movie, playing second fiddle to a bunch of bugs and a bratty little clone girl. I hated the focus on Maisie the Clone Wonder at the end of Fallen Kingdom, so it sucks that that's what this movie's mostly about. I'm sorry, Maisie. I know it's probably weird being a little clone girl, but I'm watching my dinosaur movie for dinosaurs, not you, or all these locusts. Blech. And yeah, why are we making a sequel about locusts at all? Did we learn nothing from Exorcist II: The Heretic? Dominion ends the first Jurassic World trilogy, with the next film, Jurassic World Rebirth, a whole new thing with whole new characters. And honestly, thank God. Dominion's also meant to bridge the gap with the older films, so it crams all of World's and the OG's characters into one movie that ends up being an exhausting 2.5 hours long. There's actually an extended version too, which is 12 minutes longer, that people say is better, but this kill count's gonna use the version people saw. You know, the one that made $1 billion at the box office. You people let this happen! If the extended scenes really fixed the movie, then they should have been included in the theatrical release. Instead, they were cut so the movie could be screened more times in a day and make more money. That is actually what happened. Anyway, the whole thing's a bloated mess. Half the time it feels like a jet-setting Bond film. What the fuck? You've got so many B-plots and characters, you'll get whiplash watching this thing. And seriously, the fucking bugs, God, and the clone girl? Just give me dinosaurs! There are some action scenes I appreciate, and the OG actors revive their characters well, but we're still stuck with Owen Grady, who is just like, guys, he's the least interesting hero ever. There is nothing to this man but hands and handsomeness, and of course, a little bit of snark, which permeates the whole film. I hate the detached, sarcastic humor. Like, no one's ever allowed to let a moment have meaning.
You were the only you who ever was.
Is that, like, really corny?
Oh, so corny.
Can we keep that between us?
Can't promise that.
I have strong feelings about the Jurassic movies. OGJP may be the best movie ever to me. I just love it so damn much. The sequels, there are things I like and things I hate about them, but Dominion's gotta be at the bottom, man. Maybe JP3?
Alan.
I don't know, it's close. This movie is just action without stakes and quips without heart, with only occasional enjoyment, mostly thanks to dinosaurs, not fucking bugs. Will these dinos... Who's texting me? Oh, it's the board with my performance review. Let's see what they have to say. What? Focusing on kills makes the company less advertiser friendly? Well, they're wrong about that because this episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. This ad isn't sexy enough. Oh, I'm sorry, have you seen The Pit? Medical care is sexy, and ZocDoc makes proper medical care easy too, by cutting through all the common justifications for putting off necessary medical care, like not knowing which doctor to go to, or being too busy to find one that's actually available. They do that by allowing you to filter from over 100,000 doctors across every specialty based on patient rating, distance, and whether they're under your insurance. From there, you can see actual appointment openings and instantly book a time slot that works for you, with many available in just 24 to 72 hours. For your disrespect and insubordination, the music dance experience is officially canceled? Oh, hell no. I'll show you canceled. Yeah, that's what I call defiant jazz. All you need to do to stop putting off those doctor appointments is to go to ZocDoc.com/killcount to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/killcount. ZocDoc.com/killcount. It's been almost 7 years since I last covered a Jurassic movie on the kill count. Feel ancient? Yeah, now think about how I feel. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins in the Bering Sea, where a boat is doing some shallow sea fishing. That is, until a motherfucking Mosasaurus pops out the water and chows down. Wow, this is actually awesome. A dinosaur just caused a capsize. I can't count kills from the ship, because none were verified from that incident, but we do see a report that 37 people have been killed in general, and since the text is over this dashcam footage, I'll count the driver who drives off a cliff, John Kramer style. And now this video shows dinosaurs in our world, just like the end of Fallen Kingdom promised.
Welcome to Jurassic World.
I am so on board. I mean, look at this little girl getting Kathy Bowman. Yes! I love this stupid, silly setup and seeing dinosaurs act like Q the Winged Serpent. That's a 1982 Larry Cohen film. We get a bunch of recap in the Now This video. It mentions the Jurassic Park incident from 30 years ago, Jurassic World's closure in 2015, and that volcano going off in Fallen Kingdom. Remember when they killed Alan Grant's Brachiosaurus? Yeah, it was real sad. Fallen Kingdom ended with Park co-founder Ben Lockwood, who had definitely always been there the whole time, being killed, his compound burning down, and his dinosaurs unleashed onto the world after his granddaughter let them free.
They're alive, like me.
Oh yeah, but also she wasn't actually his granddaughter. She was a clone of his dead daughter, Charlotte. What? Why do we have this plot? In the 4 years since then, Maisie Lockwood has disappeared, while those dinosaurs are struggling to adapt in the modern world. Now the public wants them contained, so Biosin Genetics steps up to the plate. It's a company run by its Tim Cook-looking CEO, Lewis Dodson. Does that name ring a bell?
Dodson! We've got Dodson here!
Dodson was that guy!
See, nobody cares.
I care. Dodson, who's more prominent in the novel, was a corporate stooge in the first movie, trying to bribe Newman for InGen secrets. The Barbasol can full of dino DNA was meant for him, the tragic Barbasol can. Now Dodson's an executive, but don't worry, not an evil one.
He hopes to study the dinosaurs' ancient immune systems for unique pharmaceutical properties.
Oh, never mind, he's definitely an evil one. With that Jurassic World building out of the way, we catch up with our protagonists. Claire Deering, who used to be a business bot, is still a dino activist with her PETA pals Zia and Franklin. Since illegal dinosaur farms are a thing now, they're gathering adorable evidence in the form of this baby Nasutoceratops. Oh my god, look at him! They snatch him up even as their time runs out.
Hold on! To what?
Your butts, obviously. Ain't you never seen the first movie?
Hold on to your butts.
They narrowly escape in a high-speed chase through a pack of Nasutoceratops, Triceratops, and Sinoceratops. Those are the ones with holes in their frills. But Claire's crew ain't up for these action movie shenanigans anymore, so they break up to go find actual jobs, like working in an arcade until you're old and it's too late. Claire's still with Owen, meaning they're in the Scream 4 stage of their relationship. Too bad they still don't have any chemistry. That kiss almost looks like the time Pratt kissed Howard in Jurassic World without her knowing. Owen Grady is still terminally cool, having gone full cowboy and wrangling stray dinos for the Department of Fish and Wildlife. Get the fuck out of here. How you about to lasso a full-grown Parasaurolophus? I don't care how badass you are, those arms would be out your sockets. He eventually uses his Jedi powers to quell the beast. You know, that thing he had practiced with Blue's pack from birth to be able to do with them? Also, where does he take that dinosaur? We never see it again. And I want to see these dinosaurs as much as possible. They look great. ILM returned to make the digital versions, having been with the series since the beginning. But back in '93, they made a mere 70 CG dino shots. In Dominion, they made around 900. They had to make 40 different dino species and build them out layer by layer with realistic musculatures to make sure they move naturally. On the practical side, Neil Scanlon, who did the amazing animatronics for Fallen Kingdom, was originally going to return, but wound up having a scheduling conflict. Thankfully, John Nolan stepped in with his studio to create 38 animatronic dinosaurs from 14 different species, the most animatronics ever in a Jurassic World movie. Remember, OG World only used a single animatronic. Fallen Kingdom stepped it up bigly, but Dominion manages to have even more. Nolan was plenty prepared, having worked on the Harry Potter films and the Netflix Dark Crystal prequel. Grady and Claire have been raising the clone girl Maisie Lockwood in secret and teaching her cool knife tricks, but she's no longer just a silly sausage.
Silly sausage.
She's hit her moody teenage clone years, so now she's sneaking out, asking questions about her clone mom, and helping Apatosauruses out of construction sites. A typical teenager. Cutest dino ever, Blue, is out here too, I guess keeping an eye on Owen. She's got a little raptor baby of her own. Oh, holy crap, new cutest dino ever just dropped. Sorry, Blue, but I mean, look at her. Hey, don't snap at me, Blue. I'll make Owen give you the hand. Yeah, go on and get. Wait, who's that baby's daddy? Is Owen the daddy? Eventually, the baby very conveniently steps directly into a net trap. Then a truck rolls up and just fucking bodies Blue. Damn, y'all just hit a raptor off a cliff, dude. The head poacher here has been watching Owen's Dinosaurs and has spotted their little clone girl, too. So after Maisie runs away from home with a whole lot of attitude, she's cornered on a bridge by the bad guys and gals. Owen gets there just in time to see them murdering his daughter's bike. You bastard! He and Claire want to chase after them, but they're not the only parents who have been wronged.
They took her kid too.
Owen has a fucking discourse with a raptor and makes a blood pact to bring that baby back raptor back home.
I want my baby back, baby back.
Raptor. To help track down Maisie, they call up Franklin, who now works at the CIA's Dangerous Species Division. He gets to watch terrified kids all day. Oh man, lucky him. Greasy poacher guy's got a file looking like he escaped from Azkaban, and Frankie Boy tells them his name is Rain Delacourt. Delacourt's about to do a deal in Malta the next day, but luckily the CIA has plans. Wait, are you serious? It's fucking Jake Johnson and Lauren Lapkus? They were like the web admins in Jurassic World. What skills do they have to be CIA agents? Come on, man, she's Ho-Ho the elf. More believable as an agent is Barry, who had worked with Owen in Jurassic World, but who I don't think I even mentioned in its kill count because his role was that inconsequential. But remember him? He's French intelligence now. So Owen and Claire set out to meet him. Dominion was only a month into shooting when production shut down due to the pandemic. It was one of the first projects to resume filming under rigorous COVID protocols, which nearly doubled its original budget.
Truly, as you know, John Hammond said, we spared no expense. This is a big, expensive movie.
There were also travel restrictions. Despite being set all over the world, most of the film had to shoot in the UK. The cast isolated for 5 months in the fancy Langley Hotel, where they got to rehearse and bond. Judd Apatow's movie The Bubble on Netflix was actually inspired by Dominion's production. In Texas, 2 kids kick off the fucking bug plot. And I see what you're doing, bug plot, trying to lure me in with screaming kids. I mean, I laughed at it the first time. And the second time, and yeah, you got me here too. No, it doesn't make up for it, bug plot, you're dumb. The kids catch a locust alive underneath a bucket, though like, they're probably cutting off its legs there, right? The giant-ass cloud of giant-ass locusts is being followed by Dr. Ellie Sattler, played by Laura Dern, reprising her role from the original Jurassic Park. And the third movie, don't forget, she was in that one too. She's been tracking these bugs and watching as they eat all the crops in sight. Or almost all the crops. Not those ones though.
They use Biosin seed.
Biosin, which reminder, is Dotson's company.
We've got Dodson here!
That's like their investor pitch.
We've got Dodson here!
Dominion's locust plotline was inspired by DARPA's real-life Insect Allies program, which uses genetically modified locusts to spread pest-killing diseases amongst crops. Co-writer and director Colin Trevorrow wanted to revisit the original film's idea that scientific hubris and genetic tinkering could lead to global disaster. For help with all this bug stuff, Ellie hits up her old friend, Dr. Alan Grant.
Ellie Sattler.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Everyone loves saying each other's names in this movie.
Dr. Sattler? Dr. Grant? I'm Lewis.
Dodgson, yeah.
You're Lewis Dodson?
I am.
Dr. Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant.
Maisie Lockwood.
Dodson.
Dodson!
Alan Grant's been working in Utah, sounding like he just researched a technology in Civ.
Why do we dig? Because paleontology is science, and science is about the truth.
He leads a lonely life, so he's happy to see Ellie, especially when she mentioned she divorced her husband, State Department Mark from Jurassic Park 3. That means she's single.
You coming or what?
Yes ma'am, anywhere you want. She takes him to study the locusts those kids caught, which definitely shouldn't have legs. They surmise the bugs have been custom designed with DNA from the Cretaceous period and could collapse the entire worldwide food chain. Ellie thinks Biosin is responsible, but she'll need Grant's help gathering evidence.
You command respect. People believe you.
Grant just wants to stay out of it, but she's like, dude, it's the end of the world. Fucking nut up. For real though, these two are great. Sam Neill and Laura Dern slip back into their roles so well. Grant would be this kind of weird, lonely old guy. He was always socially awkward.
Say my name. Is my name Alan? Is my name Alan?
Dern and Neill felt protective over their legacy characters.
I wasn't particularly interested in coming in as a sort of cameo thing. That wouldn't be fair on me or Alan Grant.
Dern especially. Over the decades, she's heard from countless women that Ellie Sattler encouraged them to go into science or tech. A call from Spielberg himself helped convince her to return, and she and the other legacy actors contributed parts of their own dialogue.
There are many lines in this movie that Laura Dern and Sam Neill wrote for themselves with me and with Emily.
That's not to ignore the new cast members though. Bryce Dallas Howard also contributed very crucial ideas.
We just need baby dinosaurs. We need more baby baby dinosaurs. Please, more baby dinosaurs.
Biosin has a research facility that's closed to outsiders, but Ellie has scored an invite from their mutual friend, Dr. Ian Sexy Malcolm. He's been hired as Biosin's in-house philosopher. All the hot companies have him. Ellie and Grant are flown there with Biosin's head of communications, Ramsey Cole, an extremely well-dressed protege of Malcolm's.
He's exactly the way you'd want him to be. I mean, such motility of thought, it's incredible.
It's a fun ride for Grant. He gets to name dinosaurs out of aircraft windows again.
Is that Dreadnoughtus?
You know it is that Titanosaurian sauropod, sir. You know damn well. Biosin works with the Department of Fish and Wildlife to transfer dinos to their facility, including Rexy.
The T-Rex is here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Arrived just before you guys.
How did it take you guys 3 years to capture a T-Rex? They did it in San Diego in like 20 minutes. It's not like you're gonna lose track of a Tyrannosaurus. It's not a spy, it's a dinosaur. They go to Biosin's chic modern campus, nestled in the mountains of Italy. Damn, man, it looks like a super chill place with all them waterfalls. They meet the big man, Lewis Dodson, who's played by Campbell Scott with perfect weirdo billionaire vibes.
Do you have food? Like one of my bars? Pardon? No, never mind.
Scott is a recasting of the character. I mean, the first guy was barely in there, and also, yeah, they're not hiring him again. They find Malcolm giving a lecture to adoring fans. Oh man, they are into him. He's like chaotish Indiana Jones. We saw Malcolm briefly in Fallen Kingdom, but now he's back for real, so Jeff Goldblum can do his whole, Jeff Goldblum shtick.
Unforeseen consequences occur.
The OG trio reunites, which, yeah, is pretty cool.
Wow, this is so trippy.
All three looking fine as hell, too. Though I'd prefer not to hear them use modern slang.
He slid into my DMs.
No, come on, that's Dr. Ellie Sattler. Don't make her say that.
That's bullshit.
At first, Malcolm acts like he don't give a fuck about the world's food chain, but when a Cappuccinosaurus provides a convenient steam stream, he lays it all out for Ellie. He's on to Biosin's devious plans and gives her a card key and instructions on where to find the locusts. Okay, don't get jealous now, Grant. High above, Dodson watches like an awkward evil eagle. He heads down to his Bond villain lair, a secret lab where we meet the man who designed these locusts, James Henry fucking Wu, looking like a divorced dad. Sir, I am begging you to get a haircut. How the fuck is this guy behind every plot, even when they involve different villains? He sold hybrid dinos to be used as weapons to that Hoskins guy. He worked with Eli Mills to auction off dinosaurs at pretty reasonable rates, to be honest. And now he's working with Biosin to create hybrid locusts? Wait, that means he made the bug plot. Man, fuck you, Henry Wu. Should have left her ass in the 90s. He's all shad because his mad science went a little too mad.
They're multiplying like crazy, and they're not dying. This is gonna be a global famine.
He didn't think the genetically engineered leopards would eat his face. Dodson don't care though. Biosin's seed will be intact, so they'll make a profit and control the food chain.
We want control.
Just saying the evil bad guy part aloud. He calls his criminal contact Soyona Santos. Dog, 45 minutes in and all of a sudden we're in Malta with Miss Casey? Yeah, it's Dyken Lockman, who reprised this role in the animated series Chaos Theory, which is kind of like a Lion King 1.5 for the Jurassic World movies. Just remember, at any given moment, a bunch of animated teens are running around just out of frame. Soyona is a dinosaur smuggler, but today she's taken on different cargo in the form of Maisie. Owen and Claire get to Malta and reunite with Barry through a teleporting cut. He gives them super spy earpieces and leads them to the Amberclave Night Market. It's an underground dinosaur bazaar, so seedy it feels like Watto should have a stall somewhere. This dino black market was built on the 007 stage at Pinewood Studios by production designer Kevin Jenkins. He's responsible for all of this movie's many sets. Apparently, there were 112.
Every new set, you're just like, what in the actual
This one's probably my favorite though. I love the detail in every square foot of this place. They're selling dino skin bags, dinosaur eggs and incubators, a baby Microceratops, and they even have a dino fighting pit. Man, that's messed up. This was the biggest scene in terms of practical dinos, with some puppets having 7 people working them from underneath the floors. Look at how good this baby Stiggy Moloch puppet looks, shaking its head around. And if this whole situation reminds you of Mos Eisley, well, that's what Trevorrow was going for.
Just to be able to go into this hive of scum and villainy.
Claire immediately latches onto another American, a former Air Force pilot named Kayla. She's a smuggler nowadays. In fact, she smuggled in Blue's baby to Biosin. That was when she saw Maisie Lockwood, who Claire says is her missing daughter. Kayla feels a little guilty about not doing anything.
Sorry, I can't get involved.
But only a little guilty. The boys scope out an exchange between Delacorte and Santos. She's selling a truck full of Atrociraptors, which, yes, is their real-life name. The species was discovered in Canada in 1995, but just like with the movie version of Velociraptors, these are way bigger than the real animals were. The Atrociraptors operate with the same laser pointer targeting system as the Indoraptor from Fallen Kingdom, but the bad guys don't know this whole thing's a CIA sting, which continues the Bondification of the first hour. I mean, Santos even looks like a Bond villain, or I guess historically like a secondary antagonist, like, you know, the big bad's femme fatale. A shootout starts where no one visibly dies, and Greasy Delacourt gets away from the CIA, but Owen Grady's a one-man three-letter agency, and he'll get that bad guy by being a badass, even though he does almost get Dieter starked. Delacourt fights back by releasing an Allosaurus and a Carnotaurus with a broken horn. It's the same one from Fallen Kingdom. She was at Lockwood Manor and helped Rexy eat Eli Mills at the end.
Well, thanks for that spotlight. I feel like the belle of the ball.
Well, I mean, you're only in this one scene, dude.
Why you gotta be like that, jackass?
Owen tries his stupid hand thing with them, but it doesn't work. He still escapes, but the dinos cause a solid fire stunt to happen. Oh wait, make that a double fire stunt. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, it's a double kill too. You can see the Allosaurus eating those guys in the background there. Owen and Delacourt tussle in the fighting pit next to this hilarious little Muppet guy. What is that? What, a Lystrosaurus? Wait, hold up, and his name is Leonard. I love you, Leonard. Leonard and a baby Carnotaurus freaking crucify Delacourt, who tells Grady he gave Maisie to Santos earlier. Then a Baryonyx breaks its chain and walks over to eat him just off screen. Owen relays the info to Claire, who goes after Santos. The CIA dudes stop the truck full of dinos with a spike trap, sending it crashing into a nearby building. However, when Barry and his men move in for the arrest, Santos releases her precious cargo and uses her laser pointer to sick him on the agents. She's gonna kill him via zoomies. The Raptors tackle one dude off screen and add him to the count while Barry takes shelter in a nearby boat. As Santos makes her escape, Claire grabs a taser and chases her into an apartment. They have a fight with vases and ineffective knife swipes, but Claire shockingly gets the upper hand. Santos reveals Maisie's been taken to Biosin, but before Claire can find out more, Santos sicks another raptor on her via laser. You know, Santos, if you had a gun, you could have just shot her there. Would have been faster than this laser bullshit. Feel like Scotty Evil pointing that out. But then we wouldn't get a rooftop chase through Malta that ends with Claire in a precarious position. Kayla sees her and decides to get involved after all, catching her in a little truck.
Hold on tight. What?
Kayla's played by DeWanda Wise, who starred in Imaginary, which I interviewed her for when it came to streaming last year. Owen rescues Barry, and the two reenact their trick from Jurassic World to capture their dinosaur foe. It's just in time for Santos to come back, so Barry can arrest her and remove her from the rest of the film. Owen kicks his badass mobile into high gear and leaves, but Santos laser tags him on his way out. Aw, now his vest is gonna make a noise, and he won't be able to shoot his blaster for like 10 seconds. We get a dual car and motorcycle chase through the streets of Malta, during which one scooter duder gets snapped up and eaten in a public square. I don't love how spy flick the Malta stuff feels, but I will say these dinosaur chase scenes are pretty damn cool. Lots of great moments, like a raptor getting clotheslined by a pipe and some interesting motor stunts. The visual of dinos in an urban setting is exactly what I wanted from Dominion. Plus, part of the chase is done without any music, which I think is really effective. The engines and dinosaurs are enough of a soundtrack. They even restrained themselves with the side view mirror reference to the original. Thank God. I mean, they already did that shit in Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom. The Malta chase scene was inspired visually by a similar one in the 1998 film Ronin. They shot most of it on location in Malta with up to 9 cameras filming simultaneously, some of them mounted on motorcycles. Since they wanted the raptors to interact with the environment, parts of it were recreated with visual effects, so the digital dinos could run into and over things. This was combined with real stunts too. Not only wire work for the jumping across rooftops and the dino victim in the public square, but also an intense motorcycle driving stunt performed by Alistair Witten, doubling for Chris Pratt. He looked like a Frankenstein with that fake head. While Alistair was being a real-life badass in Malta, the principal cast had to shoot their parts in the UK. They were never actually in Malta, which kind of blows my mind. Special rigs with 70 cameras caught their emotions with high-res scanning that was then mapped onto the stunt performers' faces. The visual effects in this movie are insane. Hats off to VFX supervisor David Vickery and his team. And his mustache. The ladies manage to ditch their Atrociraptor and make it to Kayla's plane. Owen gets to them just as they're taking off and realizes they're trying to fly without a federal badass on board. He fixes that shit when he jumps the bike onto the plane. Okay, alright, that was actually pretty cool. A raptor follows him on board, but the bike fulfills a second purpose, knocking it out and punctuating the whole action sequence with a double high dive. Well done, movie.
Still got it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Claire struggles with her seatbelt, a la Dr. Grant, as the plane heads towards Biosin HQ. That's where Maisie's introduced to Henry Wu as they're joined by baby Blue, who Maisie has nicknamed Beta. Ha, Beta cook. Henry reveals that Beta ain't got no daddy.
You know, when we made Blue, we used monitor lizard DNA to fill in the gaps in her genome. Monitor lizards can reproduce without a mate.
Okay, I guess Owen's off the hook. That makes Beta less a Blue Jr. and more of a mini-me. Beta and Blue are genetically identical, just like Maisie and Charlotte Lockwood. The dinos are artistically identical as well, since Beta's animatronic was based on the original ILM model of Blue.
I just have to basically take the paint job of Blue and paint this small version of it to look exactly the same.
And damn, did they do a good job. Look at that little guy walking around with those green rods attached. It's so cute. It is seriously remarkable how much it looks like a real freaking animal. Way more than that Blue stand-in waving his tail around. We get a little retcon for the clone girl. Last movie, the bad guy said she was cloned by Ben Lockwood as a way to bring his dead daughter back. But now, video diaries reveal she was created by Charlotte herself.
So I do have a mother.
Yep. Just not a father. That reminds me, Maisie, do you have a moment to talk about Jesus Christ? Charlotte grew up around Henry and the other scientists at the InGen facility on Site B. She eventually became one of the lead geneticists at the original Jurassic Park. She was there the whole time. The vlogs also retcon Charlotte's death as a quirk of nature instead of a car crash. Wu says she died of a genetic disorder she discovered late in life. Maisie was born with the same disease, but Charlotte figured out a way to edit her genes and cure her. That's why Henry had her kidnapped and brought here, so he can replicate Charlotte's research and use it to fix his locust problem. That stupid fucking locust problem. Maisie's not convinced, and when Wu's not looking, she grabs his Nintendo Land bracelet and unlocks the baby raptor cage. Run away! Elsewhere at Biosin, Ellie and Alan are shown around by Ramsey. They get to see dinos recreated in their purest form, meaning they've got feathers, yeah! That real-life theory became popular after the original Jurassic Park had come out. So, to explain the scaly dinos in the franchise, Wu mentioned in Jurassic World that gene splicing with reptiles distorted their appearance. There have been nods to the avian reality, but here they make it clear. Dinos look like birds, just like this adorable Moros intrepidus, which is kinda like a tiny T-Rex. A T-Rex. Grant and Sattler nab some costumes and use Malcolm's clearance to enter the underground lab. They locate Locust Central and successfully retrieve a sample. This Locust was the only animatronic one in the movie, once again created by Nolan and his team. It was about a foot long and had motors to move its face housed in its body, with its legs moved around by rods and motors attached underneath. ILM added a few more legs digitally in post. Maisie's great escape sets off an alarm that sends the buggos buzzing, which is definitely gross, but hey, at least it gives Grant and Sattler a chance to rekindle old flames. And that's when Maisie comes across them. Great, just what every 14-year-old girl wants to see, more horny old people. They all meet each other and run into Ramsey, who reveals himself as a whistleblower working with Malcolm. He gives them an escape route in the form of the company's Hyperloop. Dude's doling out all kinds of kindness. While they're leaving, our other trio is trying to arrive. Unfortunately, Santos called ahead and tattled to, wait, who the fuck is this guy? A character we sure as shit don't need, I'll tell you that. He tells Dodson about the incoming parents, so they release Biosin's anti-aircraft defenses.
That's another plane, right?
Not quite, Owen.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh shit, dude, it is actually cute. I mean, kind of. Quetzalcoatl, the winged serpent from that old movie, is an Aztec deity often depicted as a feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatlus is a real pterosaur species named after the deity when it was discovered in the 70s in Texas. As far as we know, it might be the largest flying animal to have ever lived. That's why it's able to mess up their plane in record time and then peace out. Kayla only has one parachute, and Owen decides that Claire's the one who gets to eject and use it.
What?
Another great what from Howard. He wishes her the best and sends her off with a romantic cheek smooch. God, no chemistry at all. Claire goes flip-flopping into the sky in one of my favorite shots of the movie. But their dumbass plan falls apart quicker than the parachute when the Q-Sauruses tear it up worse than the pterodactyls did to Billy's glider in JP3. Claire's able to deploy her backup chute just in time for a rough landing. Owen and Kayla brace for an impact of their own as they crash into a frozen river. Don't worry though, Grady's able to bust the hatch open like he's freaking Captain America. How'd he do that? The two emerge completely dry and unscathed because none of these characters are ever truly in danger and it's fucking boring, dude. Also, it's pretty funny that these two are fine and Claire's by herself in the jungle really far away. Probably should have just stayed in the plane, huh? But I guess Owen didn't want to risk it.
You really love her, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you keep telling us that, movie, because you sure as shit ain't showing it. A feathered Pyroraptor becomes their threat of the moment. But again, we know none of these characters are gonna die, so we can just skip all the Jaws shit until they're safe behind that gate. But hey, at least I can believe that gate would actually hold off a dinosaur. Remember when that wooden dumbbell door stopped a fully charging Indominus Rex? Yeah, that was dumb. I will shout out the VFX team at ILM yet again, because feathers are way harder to make digitally than scales or skin. They had to make a whole new system for it, since it's a lot of individual parts moving all together. Each feather could have 1,000 curves to define it, and with thousands of feathers on a dino, you end up with millions upon millions of curves. Then you have to make them react to the environment and make them look wet. Not an easy task. Owen and Kayla set off to track down Claire, who's currently hanging out in the woods. She's joined by a blind Therizinosaurus, who's a herbivore, but like a mean one. Just ask this deer that's in its way. In a cool shot, Claire army crawls into dirty pond water, allowing her to avoid the Therizinosaurus' echolocation. Apocalypse Now she just has to find her way back to civilization. As night falls, she reaches a Biosin research station, alongside a gang of Dilophosaurus, making their first in-the-flesh appearance since the first movie. Since then, they've just been holograms and museum exhibits. They nearly say good Wayne Knight to Claire, but she's rescued at the last minute by Owen Grady grabbing one by the neck? Dog, you can't just choke out a Dilophosaurus like that. It's disrespectful. God, yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Then he just go on and gets her and she runs away sounding like Zoidberg? God, yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Back on Biosin's people and clone mover, Ellie's bonding with Maisie by revealing she was a close friend of her mom's. See, Charlotte Lockwood was there the whole time, just like her dad. And we've always known this. Dodson shuts down their shuttle in the middle of some amber mines, chock full of dino DNA. I love when Dodson pretends to be innocent.
The hyperloop pod just shut down in the amber mines.
What? Wow. This day.
Can we please see a version of this movie with Nathan Fielder in that role? The tech-tagonist is cleaning house, deleting evidence, and firing pesky do-gooders like Malcolm. He even gives some harsh words on the way out.
He's exploiting your enchantment with these.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I am enchanted with dinosaurs, and this movie is exploiting that. As a severance package, Ramsey gives Malcolm a map to find his friends and the keys to a Jeep. In the mines, Maisie and Doctors Will They Won't They are beset upon by a bunch of Dimetrodons making their Jurassic movie debut. I had a JB toy of this guy growing up. In fact, the same one that's back there, even though they're not technically dinosaurs. They're synapsids, more closely related to mammals, and actually went extinct before dinosaurs were even a thing. The Dimetrodons are yet another instance of Nolan's incredible animatronics. They began as clay models made in the art department, which were then scanned into computers, turned into 3D models, 3D printed, and finally turned into 7-foot-long animatronics / puppets. I love the human arms sticking out to control the legs. As per usual, several parts were radio controlled, including the eyes, the nose, and the mouth and tongue. The actors appreciated how real the experience was.
To be able to work with the 3D thing rather than it's right here in your face. It makes life so much more vivid.
The Not Dinos chase the gang to a gate where Malcolm is waiting for them, and though he doesn't have a code...
I didn't know there was going to be a code. I didn't know there was going to be a code.
Ramsey is able to discreetly free them from a computer without anyone noticing. The old friends are reunited again, this time with Maisie. Maisie, Malcolm, you're on the poster, who cares? With the locust plague becoming a global disaster, Dodson decides to burn the evidence by, setting the locusts on fire. They actually burned down the locust set for real, with ILM integrating the digital burning locusts into the footage later. Dodson learns that Henry's bugs are just too brawny though. Instead of burning up, they escape their enclosure and start wreaking havoc on everything around them. Flaming locusts falling out of the sky? Now they're engineering hybrid plagues. The crispy critters cause Malcolm to crash the Jeep, which then falls down a very steep hill. Oh my god, that car flips like 1 billion times, and yet there's not one bruise or broken bone among them? Ridiculous. Even more conveniently, they barrel rolled right into Owen and Claire's hero shot. Finally, we're more than 1:40 in, longer than most horror movies, and we're just now getting to the full cast meetup this movie advertised so heavily. Mirror images are projected, even more so when a Giganotosaurus arrives.
Don't move.
See, Grady's like the new Grant, except without any flaws or character traits. This new alpha species of dinosaur was mentioned on the plane coming in and encountered by Owen and Kayla earlier. It even bit the T-Rex on its snout and sent it packing. Now it's here hunting more manageable prey, and a lot of them. Watching this many characters try to hide behind a Jeep is just comical. The group tries to get inside the research station in one of the film's worst constructed sequences. Like the Giganoto dig bites a cage, you think the ladder ladder's messed up, but all of a sudden everyone's up there on top together. Oh, and let's not forget to reference the original movie again when Malcolm uses a burning bug as a distraction, just like he did to the T-Rex with a road flare. And no need to worry, because he's definitely not in any danger, not even after he makes this dino a dragon. They end up using every weapon at their disposal. Grady shanks the thing like it were a prison rival, and eventually the dinosaur leaves them alone. The Giganotosaurus was a real dinosaur, which I'm glad they returned to after the designer and hybrid stuff of the last two movies. They used a fully CG model sometimes, which went from 2D drawings and clay sculptures to models built with accurate skeletal layers. While the Giga's body was always CG, the movie seamlessly cuts back and forth with a version that does have a practical head, a car-sized puppet with a jaw that could open and close. This thing had a tongue the size of a surfboard, eyes that were 12 inches wide, and individually crafted teeth that were then inserted into its mouth. The whole rig together was 65 feet long, weighed 9 tons, and took 6 hours to move from one set to another, where it was operated by 15 puppeteers. I cannot stress how awesome this is. I love how you can feel them actually touching this thing. Like, come on, it's real. It's actually there. Everyone takes a beat to recover and hatch an escape plan like a baby dinosaur. This is a very fan-servicey scene.
Jurassic World? Not a fan.
Yeah, me neither, dude. But this movie's making that one look a lot better. They even tease some Malcolm mammaries before Kayla motions for him to button it up. Come on, Kayla. That's what we're here for.
See how sexy that man is?
Kayla says she can fly them all out of here in a helicopter, but they'll have to reach the main complex first. A wildfire is broken out, meaning we're back to burning dinosaurs again? Oh man. They order an evac and send neuro signals to the dino brains, telling them to come to Biosin headquarters. You know, the place where all the people are, too. But even though everyone's running around in a panic right now, we don't have to worry about them because we never see them again. All these people, they just fucking disappear. Great job, movie! Dodson's so mad, he starts fighting the furniture, looking like a bad case of gamer rage. As he's packing up his trinkets, like the Barbasol can from the first movie, Ramsey walks in for a truly bewildering scene. He just fucking stands there and doesn't say anything while Dodson slowly realizes he's been betraying him.
We have an understanding, Ramsey, and you do not break that. I would not break this.
It's like an acting exercise from Playhouse West. Oh shit, maybe that's it. Chef, are you the one who suggested this?
Yep.
Ramsey tells Dodson he's donezo, and instead of doing anything to stop him, Lewis allows him to leave. Then the new guy just teleports over to the main group, which, you know what, sure, at least we can finally stop jumping between plot lines. At least until they immediately decide to split up again. God damn it! God damn it! They have to reactivate the compound's aerial defense system, which will clear out any pterodactyls that can take out their ride. But wait, wouldn't the pterodactyls have been called via neurosignal back to Bios? Whatever, who cares? This is mostly an excuse to have Ellie turn on the power with Claire like she did in the original. Alan pairs off with his requel counterpart as well, since Owen and Maisie want to look for Beta.
I made a promise we would bring her home. You made a promise to a dinosaur.
They follow her tracks to Biosin's Steamy Pipes facility, where the Junior Raptor gets a Junior Raptor trainer.
Hey! Eyes on me.
Oh, now she's doing the fucking hand thing. Oh, not you too, Grand. Oh, come on, man, not you too. Why does this look like Sam Neill took his granddaughter to Universal? The stupid force powers hold the dinosaur at bay long enough for Owen to shoot it with a trank. Due to some Malcolm miscommunication, Claire accidentally causes a blackout. That's bad news for Dodson, who's currently trying to escape aboard the Hyperloop. He tries to walk the rest of the way, but gets spooked by the tunnel's Halloween fog machines. Come on! Oh, and a Dilophosaurus. He runs back to the shuttle, only to find a couple of stowaways waiting aboard. Dodson is given a Dennis Nedry facial before he's finally killed off screen. Gross. No CG was used for the Dilophosaurus in the first film, so Trevorrow wanted to keep them completely practical here as well. But they couldn't find any molds or plans to work from, so Nolan and his team had to recreate the dino from scratch. 10 puppeteers operated their limbs and head independently, as well as the frill, which could fold out and fold back in. Oh my god, it walking around is so cool! The venom was made with ultra slime, a stringy substance often used for moving mucus, and shot out with a little pump gun. In the face! Ellie and Claire bat away some buzzy bugs before beating the power grid back into submission. As they all prepare to get to the chopper, Henry shows up with the energy of the last kid picked for dodgeball. The Jurassic Park crew ain't exactly happy to see him.
Him? Not him. Not him. It's always him.
What? How would you know that, Malcolm? You weren't there? God, I hate this movie's sense of humor. Maisie decides to help Henry out with his genetic bug spray in honor of her clone's sake, Charlotte.
It's what she would have wanted.
Kayla comes in with a helicopter, but Ramsey tells her it's not safe to land there because of the giant fucking dinosaur she somehow didn't see right in front of her. These movies just love to ignore peripheral vision, don't they? But whatever, even though he says it's dangerous, she does it anyway, and nothing bad happens because nothing matters in this movie. Gotta let all these characters survive. God, there are so many characters. Just kill a couple of them, please. Before they get aboard, we hear that famous roar. The T-Rex is here and it's ready for a title shot. But then the Giganotosaurus shows up for a showdown that Grant recognizes as personal.
This isn't about us.
The humans ring around the Rexy as they try to avoid becoming Cretaceous collateral. Rexy is seemingly defeated by the newcomer and nearly crushes the new characters, which, you know what, that would be just fine. But everyone gets to the helicopter and they fly away. Good thing they do, as this is the moment where the supposedly dead dino comes back to life for one last scare. The T-Rex is joined by the Freddy Krueger for a triple threat dino fight! Except it ends up being a squash, as Rexy impales the Giganotosaurus on the blind dino's claws. Good, I guess? I don't know, man. That thing was just trying to live its life. The survivors are flown to safety as the movie finally wraps itself up. Ellie and Alan get together, and Maisie accepts Owen and Claire as her parents, who are totally in love. Just look at that platonic shoulder rub. God, there's more chemistry between Kayla and the chick she's flirting with. Kayla gets a new plane, good for her, and Malcolm and Ramsey expose Biosin's actions to the press. Henry Wu, who we've seen party to like half a dozen different evil schemes, fixes the bug problem he created in the first place, and I guess that means he doesn't go to prison and is free to walk around reenacting Gladiator as he pleases. As for Beta, Maisie goes on a family outing and returns her to Blue. Mama Raptor and Owen share one last look before she turns around and runs away, which is definitely not something we've already seen at the end of both the other Jurassic World movies. No, it isn't. Nope, this is a new and very heartfelt, touching moment, I promise. The movie ends with a montage showing dinosaurs integrating with other animals. You've got pteranodons and birds, parasaurolopi and horses, and triceratops joining the circle of life. But most importantly, Mosey the Mosasaurus finally gets some goddamn peace and quiet. Did Dominion have as many kills as it did characters to keep track of? Let's find out and get to the numbers. What is that? Only 7 people died in Jurassic World Dominion, and in Jurassic tradition, all of the victims were men, giving us a pie chart as blue as Beta's baby mama. There were way fewer kills here than in the other Jurassic Worlds, putting it more in line with JP's 1 and 3. Don't go soft on me, dinos! With a runtime of 147 minutes, we had a kill on average every 21 minutes even. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Rain Delacourt, as long as we include the whole sequence. I had never seen a Lystrosaurus before, and I am delighted by how it looks like a little old man wished to be a dinosaur. I'm glad it got to take part in a kill like this. Double machete for lamest kill will go to Barry's bro, killed by a laser pointer and a raptor just off screen. And the Diamond Dino for coolest dinosaur sequence has got to go to the double chase scene in Malta. I make fun of Owen's badassery a lot, and for good reason. He's a total Gary Stu. But this is exactly what I wanted this movie to be, and for 3 glorious minutes, I was actually satisfied. And that's it. Jurassic World Dominion came out in 2022 to bad reviews, but still made $1 billion. Again, what are we doing here, people? Next week sees the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, an apparent standalone sequel. It still takes place in the same universe and timeline, but it'll have all new characters. What? Sorry, Claire, maybe your movie shouldn't have sucked so bad. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count.
Attention Shadyside High Class of 1988. The most important event of the year is right around the corner. The thing every senior dreams about.
Weekend orgies.
Not quite.
Senior prom.
That's right. It's prom night. No, not that one. Although we are doing the same shtick again for this trailer. Now remember, we want this event to be good, clean fun. So no illicit substances.
I need a fucking joint.
No lewd conduct.
I'm not gonna fuck you in this dirty basement.
And most importantly, no violence.
Please.
Also, be sure to set your expectations low. This is not your Lee Janiak's Fear Street.
It's worse than 78.
Yes, and 94, and the 17th century witchy one. It is way worse than all of those.
This is the new shady side.
Well, that sucks for Shadyside, which doesn't have a personality anymore. In fact, this whole movie is flatter than an ironed prom dress, with a lack of 80s atmosphere outside of easy references.
Hey, I rented Lost Boys again.
Thankfully, it still has some pretty good kills. A bunch of them.
Where are all the prom queens?
They're dead. This week, pour yourself some punch and watch Fear Street Prom Queen.
Jeez, they spiked the shit out of this.
Then get on the dance floor for the kill count. Only on Dead Meat.
Motherfucking dance-off!
Fear Street Prom Queen can currently be watched on the pictured streaming platforms. Dead Meat always recommends you watch the movie for yourself before its kill count. It's the only way to have your own properly informed opinion. Kill counts are never meant to replace the experience of watching a film.
Thanks a lot for watching this kill count for Jurassic World Dominion. This has to be the longest kill count for a single movie. So much had to go into the script. I hope you don't think it was too much. I just, I couldn't leave anything out. Had to talk about all the dumb shit that happened in the movie. Had to talk about all the dinosaurs. Had to talk about all the references to the other movies. There's a lot to talk about, dude. I really hope Rebirth is easier to cover just because it's not like the 6th movie in a continuous story. Also hope it doesn't have bugs. Or fucking clone girls, come on! What'd you think of Dominion? I know most people didn't like it, but maybe you're like, oh, quit being so hard on that movie. They made $1 billion. Quit being mean to the billionaire movie. For real though, I still, you know, I was watching parts of the movie. I was like, yeah, some of this is cool. Some of the dinosaur shit is cool. I like dinosaurs. I also like patrons like Connor Starrett, Raymond N, the VR Misfits on YouTube, Carmelo Biscara, Ryan Bilick, and Mike Buckner. Thanks everyone. Be good people.